Zookeeper, if you will, we happen to have a situation. We back on pace, taking care of little business, and if we take care of little business today, Zookeeper want to let you know, he really appreciates this opportunity to, get his bacon back. We had so many people in fake government position, willing to do anything to try to fix the mistakes that they made. You see, when they agreed. Now it would be a beautiful thing to play the zookeeper like he was some type of you wanna lock him in on what Zeus said right now. We had a situation. We had a situation that happened. It really happened. Zeus said he was approached by a cop. You know, five of his women already told him that the police was looking to investigate him for something. And if they were trying to investigate him for something, he wasn't doing nothing. So Zookeeper studying the Bible every day, people then thought he went crazy. And this is what happened when God know that something ain't right in your life, but he trying to talk to you and tell you to listen. So Zookeeper said he was approached by this cop, and he was going to church. He had all kind of jewelry on, all kind of stuff, vanity, if you will. And then all of a sudden, the cop just approached him. And we want to know, why would a cop approach you or me, for that matter, if they parents, they family members, they loved ones, they friends, had historically been arresting you, as it happened to me. So then Zookeeper say he was so smart that he sat back, contemplated that frame, and meditated on the wonders of God. And we want to know what it means to contemplate that frame and meditate on the wonders of God, because we got so many people that don't know how to meditate. So they see Zoo meditating, he elevating, getting past all the gossip, the rumors in the rumor mill. And it's sick in the city of Beloit and the city of Janesville and all the other counties that Zookeeper had to show his skills, if you will, on taking on police officials. Now we got a sick situation in the skillet. We had a police officer that was not even in school uh, completion, if you will, run up on a law professor. And I'm a non-accredited law professor, but the University of Wisconsin law students can tell you I told them how to beat my case. And the attorney general, the criminal attorney general, he would not, let Zookeeper get that time cut that he was chasing. But by the grace of God, they created the crack law, and Zoo got out of that. And we know Zoo had already told so many people that he was going to beat false charges. The police, when they show up to falsely arrest people, we want to see if we can set new Supreme Court president. And then when you got a judge, you see, that would do anything for the love of money, for the love of keeping his job. It's just for the love of keeping his job. Because we in a situation right now where Zookeeper say he editing. Know a lot of family members invested in this situation, but a lot of people ain't been family. A lot of people been running behind his back, knowing that a person had filed 100 police reports on him falsely, with false motive, knowing that this person has damaged his vehicle, false motive, knowing that this person has damaged Zookeeper Harley Davidson, his Suzuki motorcycle, his five cars, flat tires, broken windows. But the police seemed to never want to arrest this guy. And when they did, it was the most insignificant arrest that was ever arrest in the city of Janesville. So we want to shout out all the people who thought for years that they would be able to get over on Zoo. As if he was uneducated, he was stupid, he was goofy. Now we see that Zookeeper really finna get some people fired, because when you know the law and you stand on the law, without folding, without flinching, when the demons, see, we call anybody a demon that would go against the will of God. And we know God got a government and he protects his government. And he allows people to roll the dice and play spades in his government with their job position until they meet somebody like Zookeeper who can hold them accountable for their acts. And as we talking about holding the police accountable for their acts, we want to take it something. We want to look at this. We want to look at the revised version of issue 20 because yesterday when I gave it to you, you really didn't understand it. So we gonna break it all the way down. Alleged statement of claim by petitioner, issue 20. The district court intentionally allowed all opposing counsels to violate federal rules, civil procedure rules 12, rules 26, 33, 34, 45, 56, and 52 against him when allowing police attorneys and switchboard attorneys to withhold and use inadmissible evidence in the summary judgment phase of the case. At dockets 90, motion for summary judgment, it was illegal. 21 CB 555 JDP, the declarations, they were illegal. 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, and illegal proposed facts and finding at docket 96, and illegal brief in support of summary judgment at 21 CV 555 JDP at docket 97, and 21 CV 555 JDP at docket 149, the police, and 21 CV docket 150, the switchboard. Opposing counsels objecting to the plaintiff motion to reopen. And as we figuring out why Zoo got to keep doing this over and over, we want to take a look at the court calendar because a lot of people may have believed that Zookeeper was lying about winning in the Seventh Circuit. And we want to take a look at what Judge James E. Peterson did um, as we trying to figure out why a judge would go so far to protect people that he know violated the law. We want to figure out why Judge James E. Peterson did this and why he should be fired. So we got to notate Zeus say he filed an appeal at the Seventh Circuit level. Court of Appeals, United States Supreme Court. And these are some of the things that you see Zookeeper working on. He don't have a woman right now because he know they tried to rob him out of his groceries and they sent him Officer Bailey, but she came under false motive. And then the motive might not have been false, it might have been real, but we're going to get to the bottom of how the police would try to use somebody as a pawn. And then when they get caught in a scandal, they leave them out high and dry, and we want to see what they say, just briefly. This for all my fans who love Zoo, who invested in Zoo. So let's look at what it say. Uh, it is ordered that the request to dismiss this appeal as premature is denied. Proceedings in this repeal will remain stayed pending disposition of the motions to reopen filed March 4th, 2022. So what that means is, the police, they show up to investigate themselves. Under the Fourth Amendment, you can't come up and investigate yourself under no circumstance. It just can't happen. And we had Sergeant Drew Severson, Officer Jay Beard, come to investigate a complaint that could not be investigated because zookeepers say he was making a police complaint, a police misconduct complaint, if you will. And lo and behold, first year, per switchboard Rock County policy and per City of Janesville police policy, you can only make police complaints on first year. But somehow, shape or another, when the police knew they was in trouble, their lawyer felt like they could just cheat their way through. And it's been happening. For 3.5 years, Chief Judge James E. Peterson has been giving out the most egregious rulings that could ever be rulings on a man that has never lost a lawsuit and has set 400 captives free from the state and federal prison based on all the ineffective assistance the counsel all the other humans was getting when they was confined in the state and federal facility. They lawyer kept telling them there was nothing that could be done. And Lord behold, they talked to Zookeeper. He got over 400 people out. So we want to notate why this happened. We want to see why people rights just consistently being violated in Rock County. We want to see why detective, retired police officer Farney, knowing his history of being an illegal uh, civil rights violator. And we can go all the way back to the 90s and see that he had violated so many people's rights because he took it upon himself now to do more than his job description allowed. Now we got a lot of these crooks that would do more than their job description allowed. And here it was. We had Officer Victoria A. Bailey come up to Zoo, ask him on a date. He knew it was something behind the scandal. God always tell him when something is behind a scandal. So it was a situation where he could have been rich. But being rich with the wrong person will make you poor in spirit. You can be the richest man in the world, but if your spirit ain't right, you poor in spirit. And as we trying to figure out why Chief Judge James E. Peterson tried to make the zookeeper poor in spirit when he got a hold of Zookeeper's show, we want to notate the fact that the Supreme Court right now is hearing Donald J. Trump's case, and he gonna be hearing from Zoo. And the Supreme Court also is setting new precedent, if you will, on judicial ethic and code conduct violation. And we gonna request Supreme Court set new precedent on employment contract clause violations. All these humans operated outside the employment contract. But we gotta forgive Victoria. She had not even passed her final exam, and they used her like a pawn. To try to get more information on Zoom and that $50 million school that he was offered from an anonymous source. And once they heard that he was gonna have more wealth than them, that's when the jealousy came out. Now we can't say Victoria was jealous, but then when Zookeeper put her in a compromising position, he put on YouTube. Notice my star witness right here. It's my star witness, if you will. She asked me on a date, and we still ain't got that footage. And once we get our hands on that footage, Supreme Court gonna make them give up that footage. Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals, they gonna make them give up that footage. But Zoo has already won against all the ineffective, inadmissible evidence that attorney Ryan Trustdale filed to try to maneuver around. It was a scandal they tried to pull. He tried to pull a wool over the Zookeeper eye. And no human with a human tongue, a human brain, a human mind, human emotion, human spirit, human education, mentally can surpass the Zookeeper. He tracked down these judges. And we gonna make sure every video when Chief Judge James E. Peterson is up for re-election, we still trying to get his recertification test as a judge. As a judge, he tested out as a Harvard student. But through his court orders that was so illegal, he tested out as an F student. And we want to see why it was so much ambiguity, so much bias, so much of a blanket on the police when they knew under the Fourth Amendment they had no authority to act. And then once they got busted under the Fourth Amendment, Why would they destroy the body cam evidence where they on camera? Asking the zookeeper if he can read, if he can write, calling in boys, asking him if he retarded. And no judge in the history of judges has done what James D. Peterson has done. And zookeepers say he's the king of getting people fired with correctional uniforms on, with judge robes on, when they violate their employment contract. And the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals has already told this judge, hey, it's too premature to deny this appeal based on a March 4th, 2022, 2024 filing this man has filed. Let's reiterate that. Based on a March 4th, 2022 filing he has filed as a pro se litigant, he's saying that he had the right under Rule 12, under Rule 26B, under Rule 33, under Rule 34, under Rule, let's get it right, 37, under Rule 45, under Rule 56.1, under Rule 56.2, and all her paragraphs, and 56.1 and all her paragraphs, to go to trial and to depose the witness to solicit information on why the body cam missing. But we got a hell of a situation. We got a judge that know he approved zookeeper to file indigent, and then he come back with so much of a buffoonish ruling. He tried to make a mockery of zookeeper, and we want to know if he sitting behind a desk, still making a mockery of other people, people, poor African Americans, poor minorities, poor Caucasians. We want to know why he not respecting the law, and we want to know what changed within him. It's got to be something going on with this guy. It got to be. Either he racist, either he on drugs, either he being extorted, either he being threatened by the police, or he being threatened by the federal government. So Zookeeper in his mind never lost a lawsuit. Even when he lost, he won. He got all the reliefs that he wanted. Even the Department of Corrections can tell you this. We have never met a man that's educated more than us, like him. And he humble about it. But sometimes he get real bold about it. See, because when the people in uniform and the people in play, and they swear, tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God, when they get elected to these positions. See, it's the invocation of your right to believe in God and the promises that he made. When you raise your hand and say, I swear to God to do my job right. See, when you swear to God to do your job right, then you meet a pastor, you meet a non-accredited lawyer that eat accredited lawyers for breakfast, and then you meet a true auditor of government business. The people don't know what to do. What we gonna do, we gonna use all this evidence that Chief Judge James D. Peterson left behind. See, it's a paper trail. And the people want to know why he keep going to that library, why he keep fighting against the police, because he been done wrong. And he know his rights. See, it's a difference between knowing your rights and saying your rights. Writing something on paper and saying something on paper. But then when it's time for the trial, we got to understand what happened. 25 lawsuits was filed. And then we got Chief Judge James E. Peterson authorizing confidentially security details to surround him. Police know they committing crime. And then let's go surround him like he committed the crime because he's speaking out about it. No, zookeeper don't get played by nobody. No judge, no lawyer, nobody. You stole from me. They know they stole from me. The judge stole from me. For 3.5 years, zookeeper running around telling the people that he got a star witness. And then, lo and behold, he get the information that Victoria A. Bailey was never investigating him for drugs, so maybe she was really interested in Zeus. And then when Zeus said he was having a star witness, his guardian angel, the people put the pressure on her. They come and intimidated her because they knew they had a judge that would break the law in order to save them, release them of all liability under 1983. And this is why Zookeeper gonna make it to the Supreme Court, and you not. Good night.